Hello, in this video I am going to be talking through the quiz that we did on Friday the 26th of March, which was mainly to do with the number sequences. So the first set of number sequences were the arithmetic sequences, and this is where the value of the sequence decreases or increases by the same amounts. So if we have a look at the first question, we can see that we need to find the missing value, which is in the middle. So to do that, all I need to do is find the difference between either these two numbers or these two numbers. And I can see if I look from -7 to -2, in order to get from -7 to -2, I need to add 5. And to check that's right, if I add 5 to 8, that gives me 13. So I know this sequence is increasing by 5. So to find the missing value, all I need to do is add 5 to -2, or I could subtract 5 from 8. And in this case, the answer is going to be 3. In question 2, once again, I need to find that missing value. This time, the missing value is the second number along. So if I just find the difference between these two, or the difference between these two, it's going to help me get my answer. So the difference between 44 and 40 is -4. And to check that that's definitely what we need to do, if I look at the difference between 40 and 36, that's also -4. So I know that I need to subtract 4 from 52 to get my answer. And in this case, it's 48. Okay, so I won't go through all of them, but if you found this section confusing, maybe pause the screen now and think about what I've spoken about and see if you can answer the next 3. Okay, let's move on to the next section. So the next section is the geometric sequences, and this is where the value multiplies or divides by the same amount every time. So if I look at question 1, I need to figure out what number or how is this first number being multiplied to get to the second number. So I know I need to multiply 3 by 3 to get 9. And to prove it's correct, if I multiply 9 by 3, it's 27. So this is where it's going to take a little bit more working out. 27 times 3 isn't the easiest thing to do in your head. So there's a number of ways you can do this, but you should get the answer 81. Okay, and if you did want to check to see if 81 times 3 is 243, just to be absolutely certain that you're correct, then you could just multiply 81 by 3, again, in a variety of ways. You can use a column method. You could even just do a bit of estimating. You can think, well, what's 8 times 3? I know that that's 24. So 80 times 3 must be 240. And then you've got that 1 multiplied by 3, which is 3. So 240 add 3 is 243. So I've checked it. I know that that's correct. So the answer to this question is 81. The second question, you can see this time the value is getting smaller. It's decreasing. Okay, so 64 divided by what is 32? Well, it's half, isn't it? So it's divided by 2. 32 divided by 2 is 16. So I know that I'm dividing by 2. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. And you can check it by doing 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Okay. So once again, I won't go through all of the questions in this section, but if you did struggle with this section, maybe pause it, think about what I've said, and then go through the next 3 questions. Let's move on to the next section, which is the change in number sequence. This is where the the sequence is going up or down by different amounts, but the amounts that they're going up and down by have a relationship between those numbers. So that's a bit confusing, but I'll show you what I mean. If we look at the first sequence, from 1 to 2 is +1. Okay, so let me write +1. And then from 2 to 4 is +2. And then from 4 to this missing value, we don't know just yet. And therefore, we don't know the relationship between this one and that one, the question mark and the 11 just yet, do we? But what we can do is if we look at this relationship, look how it started. We've got +1, +2. So logically, you should be thinking to yourself, well, could the answer be +3? Because that would be a nice consistent sequence. So if we were to put +3 there, that would give us 7 for our answer. And you can check that it's correct, because if you kept going up by adding 1 to the interval every time, you can see that 7 plus 4 is 11. So I know that this sequence is +1, +2, +3, +4. And the reason it's a change in number sequence is because the numbers are changing, but the relationship between them is consistent. We're adding 1 every time. Okay, and then if we look at the next one, from 5 to 15 is plus 10. From 15 to 35 is plus 20. And you should now be thinking about, well, what is this sequence that's emerging? Plus 10, plus 20. And hopefully you can sort of anticipate that the answer might be 30 because we're adding 10 to our value every time. We're adding 10 to the number that's being increased every time. We've got 10, 20, 30, and that one would be 40. But we're not 100% sure this is correct just yet. We need to check it first. So 35 plus 30 would give me 65. And you can see that 65 plus 40 would give me 105. So I know that that's correct. So once again, the number is changing, 10, 20, 30, 40. It's not going up by the same amount every time, but the difference between these numbers is consistent. It's going up by 10. Okay, so once again, I won't go through every question in this section, but if you struggle with this section, maybe pause it here and then go through the next few questions to see if you can work them out. Okay, and then we have the nth term sequence, which is probably the trickiest one. So what we needed to do in these sequences is find the 100th number. And we can do that by finding the nth term of each sequence. So if I look at the top question, to find the nth term, I first need to find the difference between each number. And I can see that it's going up in 4. So I'm going to write 4 here, followed by n. And then I need to ask myself, well, what number would come here had the sequence started 1 number earlier? To find that, all I need to do is take 4 away from the first number, which is 1. Okay, so it's a positive 1. It's not below 0. It's a plus 1, a positive 1. So I'm going to write plus 1 here. So that's my expression here, 4n plus 1. So in order to find the 100th number, all I do is replace n with 100. So 4 times 100 is 400, plus 1 is 401. So the 100th digit would be 401. Okay, and then this second question, we've got -2. In fact, you know what? Let's go to a different question because this is going to be a similar expression to this question, and because the value is increasing. So let me do one that's not similar. Let's go for this question here, question 18. So what's the difference between these numbers? Well, I can see that it's decreasing by 10, increasing by 10. I've done it again, haven't I? This is another sequence that's going up. I do apologize. Let's go for question 19 instead. So the difference between 5 and 2, well, it's going down by 3, isn't it? From 5 to 2 is -3, and from 2 to -1 is -3. So I've got to show that in my expression, -3 followed by n. And then I need to ask myself, what would this number be here? So all I need to do is add 3 to 5, which is a +8. Okay, so I've got my expression, -3n plus 8. So just replace n with 100. So -3 times 100 is -300. -300 plus 8 equals 292. -292. I apologize. Okay, so once again, I won't go through every question in this section because it's useful for you to attempt the ones that you were unsure of. So feel free to pause the screen and have a go at the ones that you may have got wrong. Now let's go on to our more letter-based verbal reasoning questions. So hidden word. So in this question type, again, I'll just do the first two. We need to find the 4-letter word that is stretched across 2 words. So this just takes a bit of careful observation. And if we look for long enough, we should be able to see a 4-letter word hidden between 2 words. And if we look here, I can see I've put the word heel. It's 4 letters and it's split in between 2 words. So I know it fits the criteria. Therefore, heel is my correct answer. If I look at the next question, once again, I've got to find a 4-letter word stretched across 2 words. So once again, let's have a look. Let's observe very carefully. And eventually you should see we have the word mesh. Okay, it's 4 letters long. It's split between 2 words. So I know that's correct. Okay, so if you struggled with this section, maybe pause the screen now and answer the questions that you were unsure of. And the final section, we did move a letter, which is where we need to move a letter from the word on the left, place it into the word on the right, and we need to be left with 2 real words. Okay, so we can't jumble the letters around. The letters must stay exactly as they are. The only letter we can move is just one letter from one word to another word. So for the first one, if I move the letter P, it's going to leave me with this word, male. And now I know that's a word, but I've got to make sure that I can put P into this word. And I can, if I put it at the front, I've got the word phone. So male and phone are my 2 real words. And then this one, I've got the word flash. And I know that if I move the F from flash, I've got a real word. Lash is a word. So where can I put the F? I can't put it at the front because flots isn't a word, but I can put it in the middle here. I can squeeze it into the middle of the word, and I've got the word lofts. So I've created 2 new words. Okay, so if you did struggle with this section, maybe pause the screen and go through the remaining questions. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.